Okay, it's Tuesday, September 16th. You're here for the weekly Chaos community call. At least I hope that's what you're here for. If not, you can sign off. It's fine. Or you can stick around. Either one, whatever you feel like doing. We're good with that. Just a quick reminder, as you all know, this is part of the Chaos Code of Conduct, so just keep that in mind. And also, no need to turn your camera on if you don't want. You can just keep that off. That's totally fine. We don't care. And that should be working, I hope. All right, if you have not added your name to the agenda and you want to do that, I'm just curious what y'all wanted to be when you grew up. Super unmotivated. Matt was like, I just want to play video games, man. I don't,
What I want to do.
I don't want to grow up. I don't want to get a job.
Yeah, my son told my wife and I yesterday while trying to get homework done, I really just don't want to do this. It's like
I feel it.
that's
Well, you better
that's the
hear.
job though.
Yeah, yeah, I feel that. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's like that movie Office Space. Yeah, he's my hero.
Mhm.
Actually, I tell my students at the university, I'm like, having been completely unmotivated in school probably makes me a pretty good professor because I understand your unmotivations,
Mhm.
Right?
your desire to not do anything. So I'm with you.
I get
Uh,
it.
uh, and so, Matt, I wanted to ask, what was your staying power? If you have been unmotivated throughout school and then you had your PhD.
I don't know. Just avoid work was probably the PhD. Avoid
Jeez.
industry.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Professional student. I mean, it's not a bad way to go, you know? I mean, look at you, Matt. You're a pillar
I
in the
need it.
community.
Oh, pillar, yes.
You've been pillarized. All right, yeah. You can still do it, Sean. We believe in you.
I can do it. I believe it.
Just gotta
Need,
believe in yourself.
need to hitch a ride.
Yeah, just gotta have enough money, and then
Yeah.
you'll be right there. Yeah, computer science wasn't a thing, or not. I mean, it was just starting, I think, Damien, when we were, I think we're probably roughly the same age. So,
Yeah. And everything in computer science back then was like in a lab. You had to be
yeah,
in a basement. It's like, who wanted to do that?
yeah.
So nobody's dream is to spend their life in a basement. As I literally sit in a basement.
All right, let's go ahead and go on to the agenda. I just want to give Chris some props for spending so much time trying to figure out this whole Zoom thing that just got weird out of nowhere again. I really appreciate you taking the time to do that, Chris. That was not in your job description, and we appreciate the contribution. So thank you
No
so
problem. I
we
suffered
appreciate,
with Zoom during the early days of the pandemic, so people don't have to.
we appreciate you very much. You realize this now means you're the go-to guy when Zoom
Yeah, I
is.
know. I'm aware.
I'm just kidding. You're not on the hook
This
forever.
is but helping this community is easy compared to other communities.
Well, we was greatly, greatly appreciate you because none of us could figure it out. So I know that took some time last week. So thank you for doing that.
And this
No
is kind of
problem.
how open source works. Somebody volunteers, and as
Yeah.
long as they're part of the community, they're the one we go to. That's
Yep.
the way it works.
Hmm. Yeah,
So you can add that to your LinkedIn now. Zoom administrator for KS.
I might skip that one, but thanks for the suggestion.
Lest you get calls from other communities. So Chris, we hear you're willing to fix Zoom for people.
Is that like having skills in fixing Salesforce on your resume?
Oh,
Yeah, then you get it.
oof.
It's a skill you don't want to have. Unless you want
That
to do
could
that forever. Yeah.
that could be a really fun intro question for a future meeting. Like introduce yourself. Like what is a skill like you unfortunately have?
That you don't tell anybody about because you don't want to have to do it. That's a
That's
good
literally
question.
all my open source contributions.
I'm just gonna write that down. I love that. I love it. Hey, another contribution. Here we go. This is a group meeting. Collaboration. I love it. Okay, let's go on to this. Just in case you haven't seen it in Slack, there is a playlist for all of the talks from CHAOSScon Africa. Thank you all for all that work. I know that's a lot of work putting those together and chopping them up and putting them up there. So thank you. And I had nothing to do with it. So, so thank you for just doing that. That's amazing. I appreciate you all very, very much. And also just taking the recordings and making it accessible to everybody. So thank you so much. And if you haven't seen it, I think we played this last week in the midst of my internet connectivity issues. I thought I saw them getting played.
We did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So very cool. It's here if you didn't get to see it last week and you want to watch it. It's pretty great. And I think Mary Blessing said she's still working on a wrap-up blog post. I think that will have some other more data and more information about it. So we'll keep our eyes out for that. But thank you to everybody who worked on that. Anybody have questions or anything? Okie dokie. This was on here. Is Mary Blessing here? I don't see her.
No.
Okay, she added this to the agenda last week after we had already wrapped up. So I told her I'd move it up here. We could probably wait for her because I think she has. Why won't my screen show this here? There we go. Jeez, Pete. She has some questions about board member term and past board members. So I know that actually that's getting worked on, I think, but we'll maybe wait for her. Don't you all think to wait for her since she brought it up? Because she might have specific thoughts that she wanted to bring up. So we'll just hold that.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll make it to the meeting a little bit later. We'll come back to that. Next one on the agenda is, I put this on. As you know, Hacktoberfest is coming up. If you're not familiar with this, this is a month-long celebration of all things open source where you can participate in different events and get some recognition for your first contribution in open source. If you've never participated, I think I know they used to send out t-shirts and stickers and everything else. I don't know that they do any of that now, but it's still a thing. So if you want to look at that, you can. So in the past, I brought this up because in the past we've kind of left it to working groups if they want to participate with something specific. I wanted to know if the community wants to do that again, if we would rather have something like coordinated, like a big project that we do as a bigger community, or if we want to leave it per working group. And then if we leave it per working group, that's totally fine. I could maybe do a blog post or something just outlining the different ways that we're participating. So throwing it out there for open discussion. What do you all think?
Can someone talk more about how that works now? Because it used to be super problematic. You would get it's kind of like Google Summer of Code, where you get this influx that you can't possibly handle as a community. And in the case of Hacktoberfest in particular, it was a lot of junk PRs. I've heard that it's gotten better, but I haven't participated in quite a few years.
Yeah, the reason Augur stopped participating was exactly that, we'd get so many like typo corrections on documentation or weird stuff. Yeah, that was odd.
I think last year I noticed that maybe they started doing it sooner, but I think they stopped. Because I think in some of the earlier years where it was more problematic, they were giving out like free t-shirts and like some actually pretty decent merch. And I think in the most recent couple of years, that's why I'm on the website trying to look at what the prizes are and stuff. I think in recent years, it's been like a little digital like token, like little digital badge or something that's not really that valuable. So like I feel like that potentially helps. And I think they probably also have more rules around
Yeah, they're
like allowing maintainers to reject contributions and like not have it count and stuff if it's just like total spam.
Yeah, I think there was an early impetus to make the bar lower for contributing just to get, the thing kind of off the ground. the thing being Hacktoberfest as a process in general. And hopefully
see it.
they've dialed it back a little bit. That 4 high quality pull merge request allows for some subjective grading.
And I saw the first, it's like bobblehead day, the first 10,000 people to
Right.
complete 6.
Yes.
Get the t-shirt.
It's completing. Yeah, I think before it was just submitting,
I
and
think
now
so
it's
too.
completing, which is a huge help.
And it's 6 accepted. That's a pretty high bar, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, given that I work on Augur 8 not day to day, I could probably
Yeah.
hit that in 2 weeks.
Fair.
I'm probably not. That's probably not the spirit of the rules, though.
I think there's some folks on this call who were participating on behalf of their working group last year. If you are one of those people and you have thoughts about how that went last year and you want to do it, like if your working group thinks they might want to do it again, feel free to speak up.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah, go for it.
Last year, I know CHAOSS Africa participated. We're just like different working groups come together. I know technical writers, education project, and then in fact, managed by the then project managers and participated. So it actually went well because at the end of the participation, let me speak on education project, I had more participation during that period. And what we did as CHAOSS Africa to encourage the contributors was send them a tote bag. I think I got a tote bag, a tote bag and CHAOSS Africa cup or mug or something. I think something like that. So there were a token sent to the contributors that made some PR during that period. So that's how, we contributed last year. And there were a lot of moving parts during that period, that October period. And for me, I think that October in CHAOSS Education, I had a good number of people that contributed to CHAOSS Education project. And how it works is participants to register with Hacktober first and then picked projects that are indicated to contribute to participate. And then I know then CHAOSS, we added the label and contributed that period. And that really went well because a good number from CHAOSS Africa participated. So from the past, I know I contributed to it on different projects in 2020 and that's when I submitted about 4 PRs, got their t-shirt and sticker and all sorts of that. So participation is just like open. If you want to contribute, just add the Hacktober label on your project to let them know that you're part, and then advertise for more contributors in different projects. And so that's how it worked. And I enjoyed it. Like I've mentioned that during one of the meetings, that I enjoyed that period because I got several people contributing to the CHAOSS Education project. So I'm thinking that will still be the process this time, except something change. Though I don't know if Hacktober still send the t-shirt because of the traveling. What's it called? The distance charges on that. But I know about planting a tree, and I don't know the name of the forest. And then I know about some other digital badges they give. So yeah, that's what I know about.
Thank you, Peculiar. I was hoping you would speak up. That's really super helpful information. So what are we thinking about just leaving it up to the working groups to decide if that's something they want to do and have them kind of manage it individually, or versus having something big.
That seems pretty reasonable. The first one.
Yeah, agreed. Okay.
Yeah, it almost sounds like keeping it small might be good. Like people who are already kind of part of the community maybe know that their working group's doing it, but I feel like if you advertise it too broadly, like it might kind of attract less helpful contributions, especially from people who don't already know the code bases and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I just want to add to what Cecilia said. I think for Chaos Africa, we would know more because we are having our meeting on Thursday. We are likely to discuss that. So we should have more information next week, Tuesday, about how we want participation to look like for the chapter and then maybe for the focus groups.
Yeah, that sounds good. Does anyone see a big issue with just leaving it up to the working groups? Or does anyone have any pushback or feedback?
I think that sounds like a good idea. And micromanagement now.
I want no part of micromanagement.
Yeah.
I want to manage less, not more.
Well, it sounds like we did it last year and it seemed to work. So
And
it
it was
sounds like
fine,
they've
yeah.
ironed out some of their issues. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. All right, I'll post a note in the working group leaders Slack channel that this is kind of what direction we're taking. And if they have anything, just let me know. And I'll do a blog post at the end of September, just wrapping up maybe. Or do you guys think that's okay to do a blog post kind of saying what we're doing? Is that
Yes, that I think
widely?
blog posts are always good. And
you can keep it pretty vague. I think it would just be like for any of the like repositories that have that label,
Yeah.
whatever, like they have to declare themselves anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you could even just
out.
I was gonna say you could even just like talk about Hacktoberfest or in general, like, hey, it's October, Hacktoberfest has started. Like, you can go contribute to open source projects. Like, here's the website. Like, if you want to work on chaos stuff specifically, check with one of the working groups. Here's the calendar. Here's the Slack. Like, sort of keep it general and steer people maybe towards like checking with the groups or kind of get involved a little bit to know which chaos thing specifically to work on.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. Okay. Any other questions, comments, discussion about that? Okay. What else? What else do we have? I don't.
Well, all this.
Oh, there's Mary Blessing. Yay.
Okay.
Can we go back up here and talk about this? Mary Blessing, we waited for you because we love you.
Oh, sorry. It's been a slow day here. Network has been very terrible because it rained.
We just wanted to know if you had specific thoughts about this, or if this was just something you're bringing to the community, or I just wanted to give you the floor, kind of talk about this.
Yeah. I was going through the website and I was looking through the governance charter and also the governing board, and while I was going through that page, I just thought for a moment that I probably would love to see past members of the governing board, and um, I was also curious to know like what the term for each person is, and the people currently on the board, how many more terms do they have? Like, it just occurred to me, and I also realized that if I checked some other open source communities, I've seen that in the past. So I just dropped it as a comment if this group wanted to like discuss, and just sort of like curious to hear what everyone has thought about it.
I guess I'll start. So the governing board does not actually have terms or term limits. So the governing board is currently, people are nominated by existing governing board members when someone leaves the board. And then they're voted onto the governing board, but there is no specified term. So right now, the way it works is that people who are voted onto the governing board by the existing governing board members stay until they decide to leave. That's the way it works right now.
Oh, I see. I guess the term I see on other community websites, probably they do have term limits for when governing board members get to be on the board. So that makes sense. Thanks, Don.
I don't know if any of the other governing board members want to chime in.
I mean, what you say is true, Don, and what you say is well taken, Mary Blessing, in terms of term limits or thinking about terms. So that would be my chime in. Don, you're correct. And Mary Blessing, point well taken.
So it's something that should be fixed, but the board has to act, in short.
I personally believe that there should be terms for board members and elections. That's my personal opinion. Because I don't think it's fair that people can continue to sit on the board forever until they decide to step down. I don't think it gives people opportunities. That's Dawn's personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think some kind of
I'm in line with that opinion. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, go on, Sean.
Yeah, I agree. I think I have the same personal opinion that we should have some mechanism for, encouraging turnover, especially if board members, aren't very active anymore. And we don't really have that.
Yeah, and some people might not be volunteering because it is so open-ended too, right? Like,
right. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of it from that perspective.
Yeah, one thing we've learned in the Kubernetes community is that like it's great that you can bring team leads in, but those team leads can't feel like they're trapped, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like that because there's no term limit, they feel like they can't leave?
Yep.
Yeah, there like that has been a sentiment I've heard, not just in Kubernetes, but other projects as well. When there isn't a time box already applied, people are hesitant to step down because they don't know if there's anybody that's willing to step in for them.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also probably new people are like, well, if I get on the board, then I'm there forever. Like I don't.
There forever, yeah.
Yeah,
Which
it
is
seems
not
like maybe a
optimal.
bigger commitment than, okay, if I hate this, I'm on for 2 years and then I can get off. So yeah, that's interesting.
And that's a mighty long time.
Yeah, especially if you are backed up by a company. Like if you want to tell your manager, yeah, I'm going to work on this forever. It's not something easy to sell.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That was in line of my thoughts as well when I was checking, because I was in a community and we're looking to set up one in that community. And, these conversations came up and I wanted to see what CHAOSS's page looked like regarding that. Maybe we could draw some inspirations and like, oh, we don't have this here. And I just left that comment. So I appreciate you on weighing in and yeah. Over to you, Lisbeth.
For what it's worth, just listening to this conversation, it does feel like there's a strong sentiment towards rethinking terms and how we understand them.
Yeah, Kelly had a good point in chat that not so much a term limit as just routine elections of the board in some manner. I don't want the whole board to turn over in the same year, for example, or even half the board to turn over in the same year, because there's just folks who know things that if we lose them, we won't know them anymore. And the more rotation we get, also the less of that we will have, right? Some of the reasons that critical knowledge sits in certain individuals' heads is because they've never rotated off the board.
Interesting. That's a good point. So yeah, if they knew they had to sustain future governing board members, they might be incentivized to document things and get other people to help.
Well, this is the whole point of an emeritus role as well, right? Because those people aren't disappearing from the community. They're just no longer actively on the board. It's not that we can't go to them for questions afterwards. That's the whole point of having an emeritus section on the website for past board members, is that you know who to talk to if there are questions about what happened before.
I wildly dislike the term emeritus for what it's worth. It just means
kind of the generally
in my world.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a generally accepted term that they use within Linux Foundation projects for the most part.
I just don't ever want to be that.
Other thoughts, comments? Going once, going twice. Okay, yeah. Looks like we don't have much else on our agenda, at least not documented here. Do others have things they want to put on here that they didn't get a chance to do?
Something on for next week. I think it'll be about time to start talking about CHAOSScon. I know we don't have the date officially, but that shouldn't prevent us from thinking about the structure of what CHAOSScon could be.
Well,
yeah, plus one to that. I would like to push. So historically, we have waited for the FOSDEM CFPs to close and announce their speakers before we've even opened our CFP. And this prevents anyone who needs a visa from coming to our event. So I think from an inclusivity standpoint, I think we need to start the CFP process much earlier and accept our talks before FOSDEM has accepted their talks, so that more people can attend CHAOSScon. Because I think like Nigerian visas, for example, take 2 to 3 months.
Yeah,
let's way more than that sometimes.
Like, FOSDEM has never. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just commenting on Don's comment. Like it's way more than that. It's sometimes more than 6 months for Nigerians to get visa to Western countries. So it's quite hard.
I was just going to say, and FOSDEM has never failed to have the dates be exactly when we expect them to be.
But they haven't signed the agreement with the university yet.
That's true.
So they've asked people not to schedule things until they sign with the university. Now, that's not to say, so Config Management Camp already has their CFP open, State of OpenCon. We've announced our dates for those, and we've made some assumptions. The FOSDEM team is saying don't make that assumption, but everyone is.
Yeah, I think we just disregard their advice and put our dates on the calendar so people can get visas. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, a good balance might be that opening the CFP, but not like signing on a contract with a venue. But I think with the CFP, while it's inconvenient, that is a movable date versus signing something before it is completely locked down, because that's not nearly as movable.
Yeah, +1 to that.
Do we, what's does anybody know off the top of their head what the dates would be that we think?
January 30th or 31st and 1st, I think. Is that
Yeah,
right?
the 31st and the 1st.
Okay. Okay, so that would put
So
us
that would,
at the 29th, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, any other questions, comments, thoughts on CHAOSScon EU for next year? And then next week, we can start thinking about the structure in earnest.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. Do we want to do it during the community call, or do we want to do it, like, start getting people on the CHAOSScon committee and meet outside of this call next week?
I always like doing it at the end of this call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
end of this call seems to be a really good time.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, cool. All right, I think that's it then for us today. I'm gonna stop sharing. Oh, there were a couple of reminders at the bottom of that agenda that you should be reminded of. Consider yourselves reminded of those things. CFPs closing on October 27th for FOSS Backstage, and then the Digital Resilience Forum, excuse me, on October 29th. So check those out if you haven't already. And yeah, anything else before we adjourn?
All good.
Okay,
Right.
great to see everybody. We'll see you here next week. Have a good one. See ya.
Bye, everybody.